Welcome back everyone to Let's Mock / Play / Try Not to Die in Resident Evil for Sega Saturn. Where we last left off, we were on our way to the guardhouse. You can hear some dogs in the background doing what they do. We are going to go back through this door really quickly, with this gate rather, to hopefully reset their AI to get them to play nice. And I just had to pause. There was a audio or a video bug rather. You won't see it though. I'm recording in post right now, so. Funny thing about the dogs here. I learned this through a little experimenting. I'm sure this is old news to a lot of players of this game, but like real life actually, which I appreciate. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but they won't chase you unless you run. And it's funny because I learned that a long time ago in life, that nothing can chase you if you don't run. So that goes with dogs or anything else, you know. It's a game of fear, you know. Animals, people, they sense fear. They can smell it, they can feel it, they can hear it, you know, they pick up on it. So yeah, that's a lesson for you. Have no fear. You'll have nothing to fear, literally. So moving on, easy puzzle right here. I'm just gonna get this out the way. This is one of those things that you can't forget. I don't care how many years go by without playing this game. You come in here, you see the statue, you instantly know what to do. You just gotta push it over this hole so Chris doesn't get choked by you'll see soon enough. And even though I don't have it placed perfectly over the hole, nice thing about the game in this instance is when you leave the room and come back, they will instantly offset it to where it needs to be. So you won't have to replace it or anything like that. Once it's there, it's there. They do the rest for you. Yeah, I wish they did that in some other situations, but you know, take what you can get. Now I've actually started this playthrough from scratch again because there was a problem with my save file, so I thought the easiest thing to do, since I wasn't too far in the game anyway, and since I knew what to do a little bit better now that I had a refresher, was to just start over, and I got back to where I was without too much time. Probably wasn't even, well, it might have been 30 minutes, but it couldn't have been too much more than half an hour at tops. So I did save my game now in this room. I just doubled back to where I was to keep consistency between episodes. So picking up a few things here. I've been pretty good about saving my ammo. And this is the point in the game where you really learn if you've been wasteful or not. Because I'm doing pretty good on clips. I've got lots of shotgun shells. And that's good because pretty soon we're going to be encountering enemies that will require more than a handgun. So at this point, I'm probably going to be using my handgun for the zombies and shotgun for most other things. Well, I say that, but I know I end up using my shotgun in this area a little bit because, you know, you really can't say no to a one hit, which is what you can get with the shotgun with the zombies. Eerie music is eerie. Sloshing is sloshing, so you know who's around. What lurks behind this door, we'll find out. Nothing. Good. Except a bathtub with muddy water. You'd think they'd be able to afford a few maids for this mansion. Well, to be fair, we've probably taken care of a few of them by now. Because, you know, all the zombies in this game are dressed the same just about. So you really can't tell who they were, what position they held. You know, when they become zombies, their clothes rot as well, and they all end up looking the same. Just muddy greens, browns, grays, whites, blood-stained reds. And there you go, one hit with the shotgun. Where'd you come from? Sit down. We don't need none of that. Yeah, it's nice they had each other to keep company. Well, until we ended that. Sorry, guys. There's a key in the cup. Who puts keys in? Well, actually, a lot of folks put keys in cups. Hopefully they weren't also drinking out of that cup. Yeah, it's funny too. Zombies don't drink anything. It's kind of the opposite of us, you know. We don't need food nearly as much as we tend to think we do. But water is far more essential, you know, for us to continue, you know, doing the whole living thing. How about living, huh? It's a fun game. But zombies, you know, as far as I can tell, they don't really need liquids of any kind. They're just, or maybe they do. You know, supposedly they like brains. Maybe it's the liquids in our body, in our brains, that nourishes them or keeps them going more than anything. And see, that's another thing. Are the zombies even getting nourished by eating people? Is it just pure compulsion? You know, the pure animal motor in them that propels them to do what they do. For example, if there were zombies around but no live flesh, nobody to eat or peck on, you know, just nothing but zombies for months on end, years on end, you know, what would happen? Would they just continue going around doing what they're doing? Hey, spider. Would they start eating each other until there's nobody left? I mean, you know, what's the end game? What's the end goal? Because their whole point is to feed. So when they have nobody to feed on, what happens? Just wondering. You know, if any zombies have made it that far. Thankfully, this is not something we have to really deal with in real life yet. But that's another conversation I'm not going to have right now. Some would argue that there already are zombies among us. I'm not, again, going to have that conversation right now. What I'm going to do is check this out. 6-ball. Don't care about them. Not worried. A 9-ball. Because Chris is a tank and they don't do much damage to him. Looks like a clock dial. Some kind of a code, which to this day, I cannot figure out. A 3-ball. 6, 9, and 3. Sort of like the dials on a clock, but how it pertains to the puzzle that is speaking about. How it pertains to that puzzle in question, I have no idea. Back then or to this day. But I do know I know how to solve the puzzle, so I don't care. Pure compulsion, but it's always good to keep your guns full. And getting a little overzealous there. I don't really have room. Not that I really need it. I think I have 1 blue herb already. And 1 blue herb is probably going to be plenty for quite a while. As long as I'm not reckless and get poisoned. Because poison, it's not something you really have to deal with often in this game. I might make 1 super herb, red, green, blue, just in case, and call it a day. The only thing that's annoying about poison is it's hard to tell where your actual health is. And that's the only reason why you want to get rid of it as soon as possible. Everything in this area that you pick up that's unique, like the book or any keys, you're going to use in this area specifically. So you want to keep them on you at all times. And I hear rumbling about no accident there. It's funny how that works. I tell you. Is anybody out there renting a little cottage or a shack in the city? Because I will pay you good money. What little I have, I will pay you good money to rent that cottage or hut or tent out. Provided you have working electricity, so I can... But, you know, what can you do? Quiet, privacy, all these things are very much things of the past. And that's one of the hard truths of adulthood that I've just had to accept. And that's okay. But hey, let's not turn this into an introspective video. It's not that kind of a show. So here's the area in question. We have this door that is locked. And you see a keypad here. It's a panel with number keys. What could it mean? We have to push the keys, of course. 1, 2, 5, 4. I think there might be other methods that work as well, but this is what I found that works, so that's what we're going with. Go with what works. That's what I'm doing. Keep life as simple as you can. That's my recommendation. Because there's going to be enough things to complicate it. Trust. Now, let's see what we have in here. We have a faucet, which is useless because apparently Chris can't handle chemicals. He thinks they have cooties. I don't know. And again, more chemicals he can't do anything with. And again, you're seeing a pattern here. And that GED is not working out too well for him, apparently. Oh, but what's this writing on the wall? 1 + 2 = 3, 3 + 4 = 7, 2 + 4 = 6, 6 + 7 = 13, and 13 + 3 = 16, it said. So thankfully he can count at least. Basic arithmetic is not a problem. So we're going to see what else we have here. Those two doors I can't do anything with right now. So this key, however, we can do something with. We are now in possession of a dormitory key. And that apparently ticked off a few bees who we're not going to even worry about. Again, just like with the dogs, just go through a door, come back in. That resets everything. And just to make that evident, we're going to just show that off real quick. Again, make life as simple as possible. It's a gift you give to yourself. And as you can see, probably need another dormitory key for that. So let's see what we can find. Nah, but I tell you guys, life is something. It really is. It really is. And hold on just a moment. And have a nice little stockpile of herbs in the corner here for some unknown reason. Not gonna question it. Since I'm doing really good on health right now, I'm gonna go ahead and use one. Get rid of this one-use key. Gonna be a lot of this stuff in this area, one-use items, which is fine with me. Because as you will know by now, Chris does not have the space. Which is the only thing that is painful about using him, really. But on the plus side, he can take a hit, so again. I think that was my first time using a health item in this particular run. Well, hello. Goodbye. You find a lot of items in this game if you keep an eye out. So hopefully you have a good set of eyes. Looks like those clips, very easy to miss. I'm gonna see something else like that coming up soon, area where there's a decent stockpile of items that you can easily overlook if you're in a rush. Or again, just have problems seeing because, it is a little bit grainy sometimes. So things just kind of blend in. What's this here? We have a Plant 42 report. 4 days have passed since the accident and the plant at Point 42 is growing amazingly fast. It has been affected by the T-virus differently than other plants have been and shows unique shape in addition to its size. Oop, went too fast. There are two ways in which Plant 42 gathers nutrition. First one is through its root that reaches into the basement. Immediately after the accident, scientists went mad and broke the water, taking the basement. Now the basement is filled with water. It's easily imagined that some chemical elements were blended into the water and promotes the incredibly fast growth of Plant 42. Another part of Plant 42 from the basement grows to the duct and hangs down like many bulbs from the ceiling of the first floor. Many vines come out of these bulbs and they are the second resource for its nutrition. When sensing movement, Plant 42 shoots its vines around the prey and holds it. Then it starts sucking up blood using the suckers located at the back of its vine. It also has some intelligence. It blocks the door by twining its vines around it, especially when it captures prey or is sleeping. Several staff members have already fallen victim to this. May 21st, 1998. Henry Sarton. Plant 42 report. There you go. That is one of the problems with recording in post. I should have paused longer during those sections. Didn't have enough time to read it, so feel free to pause if you actually want to see that report. Because I'd be surprised if you actually understood anything that I said there. So anyway, we really got that for somebody else's benefit. But it will benefit us. If I'm talking in riddles, just hold on, you'll find out soon enough. This is a slightly longer episode for that reason. I wanted to show off a complete scene here. Yeah, that's right, stuff is going to be afoot in just a bit. First thing we want to do is come back here. I think I'm gonna have to reorganize things because again, the lack of inventory space, you have to constantly manage your stuff. But it's a good lesson in life here. Try not to take more than you honestly are going to need. Less weight, more space. Less stuff is a blessing in disguise, truly. Less to think about, less to juggle, less to stay on top of, less to hold you back and hold you down. So, Chris he's very zen. He's trying to elevate our state of mind and being in his own special way. So you see we have a red book here. You know, nothing too impressive. Untitled. Looks like a very old book. Old, but it's blank. So really, what could it be used for? We're about to find out, hopefully. At this point, I'm going to just hold on to the shotgun a little longer because I've been really good about ammo. I can afford to use a few rounds of that. But again, the name of the game is surviving. With that in mind, it's good to be in the habit of avoiding fights as often as possible. Again, another good life lesson. Don't go out of your way looking for a confrontation. If you can avoid it altogether, it's probably the best route to go. But if it can't be avoided, we're more than prepared to deal with the situation. You know, be prepared, but don't instigate. And using up all of these keys whenever we have an opportunity, 9 times out of 10, shotgun shells are going to be on the other end of that key. So basically just do the math like that. Small key equals shotgun shells. Well, key plus desk equals shotgun shells. And another simple puzzle here. Of course we'll take the ladder. Of course we'll take the ladder. You always take the ladder. Whenever there's a ladder, you don't pass it up. It's leading to something. You know, it's funny. It's odd that I even enjoy this game as much as I do, because in real life, I'm not a gun person at all. I don't go protesting or anything like that. I know people who are really into guns and, you know, conceal and carry and all that, and I can definitely understand where they're coming from. Just, I have very personal reasons why I don't care for guns. I would have loved to have lived in the days of swords and swordplay, because I could definitely see myself wielding a sword. You know, I enjoy the martial arts, and I believe very strongly if there must be combat, hand-to-hand combat is the best way to go. It's the most honorable way to go. But if a weapon must be carried, I'm definitely a blade person, swords, things of that nature. I don't know, to me there's just something very honorable and noble about them. And there's skill that's required to wield any weapon effectively, but, you know, sword is just open and upfront about it. I mean, it's not something you can really hide, or, you know, you're carrying a sword. Folks, they see it and they know what it's about. They know that you mean business. You know, it's not something that you engage in frivolously, whereas guns just can get used so recklessly and carelessly. And, you know, anybody can pick up a gun and they might not be skilled at it, but they can still cause a whole lot of mischief with it. That could happen with anything, but with something like a sword, it just seems a lot less likely to happen. You know, just being practical about it. So, you know, I've often thoughts like, you know, how different would the world be if there were no guns at all? Literally, just no guns in existence. Just really think about that. Like, how different would things be? Wow. But I'm not going to take you for that ride. It's up to you. I'm just putting the thought out there, you know, but I think about stuff like that quite often, actually. You know? So we have this basement, and we have, looks like a plant root. I think we just read about you. And we see a shiny. Always pick up shinies. Lots of small keys lately. And that's okay. We can use that. And we will, hopefully, very soon. So obviously we want to be doing something down here. What is the question? And do a little bit more exploring. Not liking all this water. I think I hear, oh! I was hoping I could avoid that. It's locked. I went to the wrong one. That's where we wanted to go. Use this one up, get some more space. I believe that shark is known as Neptune in the remake. In this one, it's just unknown. Or I could be wrong. There'll be something later that we'll see that'll talk about that. But it's Neptune. Another unfortunate consequence of some mad scientist's ambitions. And it's always amazed me that as intelligent as some folks can be, how ignorant and stupid they can be at the same time. To the point where I even question their intelligence. Well, okay, we just hit a button, which, as you probably guessed, opened up the door next door. But I guess there's different types of intelligence. We tend to just kind of think of it as one thing. But people can be intelligent in different areas and not so intelligent in others. Then it's not just this intelligence that speaks to everything. And that goes without saying, I think. And I say that because, these scientists who, in these situations, come up with these viruses, and these experiments that lead to all sorts of catastrophes and cataclysms and destructions and plagues, if they were really that smart, or at least as smart as they're given credit to be, wouldn't they have thought a little more long term? Wouldn't they have questioned their actions before they had followed through? Would they have asked simple questions, okay, I can do this. Should I do this though? What will be the end result of this? What is going to be the ultimate gain out of this? What is the end result? What is the final product? So this is the area I was talking about, getting back to the situation here. As you can see, you really got to keep a lookout. That stuff's easy to miss. Picked up 2 clips and 2 shells. And if you're not paying attention or just very thorough, yeah, it's very easy to overlook. So, nice little bonus there. And moving right along, I don't think there's anything else that we can do here. And there's our friends Floppy Jr. and Floppy the Third. Now we could be sadistic and cruel and just end them easily now that they can't retaliate, but we're not like that. I'm not like that, and I'm pretty sure Chris isn't like that either. Now, I guess one could argue we'd be putting them out of their misery at this point, seeing as how they were the cruel victims of, again, some very sick and twisted person's vain and really frivolous ambitions, but that's not my call to make right now. We're just going to keep it moving. Being sharks anyway out of water, I imagine they don't have too much longer anyway, so. And that's another conversation that, would be more serious than I'm really trying to make this series be, even though this has already been kind of a serious talks. But I'm not taking it too seriously. So please don't. But just the whole, is it merciful to end somebody's life, even when they ask you to in certain situations? Maybe in certain situations. I mean, it's one of those things. I don't think it applies across the board. It's always the same. It depends on the context of the situation, because there probably are situations where it would be merciful to just end somebody's life, especially if they're asking for it. It's, they're in a situation where they're not going to be living much longer anyway, or if they are, it's in a condition that you really don't want to be living in. But hey, enough of that now. This has been part 7. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you soon.